Right now, we're hearing from some members of the defendant's family. Let's head back inside the courtroom now for more testimony from the defendant's sister. Her name is Barreto. She's on direct examination.
Your mother lives in Texas, right?
Correct.
At some point after that, did your mother come down to Florida?
Yes, she did.
Around this time, were you, just for context, around this time, did you have some kind of medical issues yourself?
Around this time when this was happening, I had just given birth and I had a cesarean section, and I wasn't able to really do a lot to try to help Daisy and with the kids, because my mobility was kind of limited on what I was able to do as far as, you know, trying to help out in a way that I really couldn't help out.
Okay. All right. So your mother came down to Florida. What was your understanding of what your mother's plan was in coming down to Florida?
Objection, hearsay, infringement, hearsay. If you know. So don't guess, if you know.
So what I know, what we communicated, what I asked of her was to come down to Florida because the injuries that I saw looked really severe, and I figured they could be life-threatening to me, in my opinion. Please come down, take Daisy and her children to Texas, which was a safer place for them.
And as far as you know, was that the plan?
Yes, that was the plan.
Right. Now, you live in Homestead. You live relatively close to Daisy, correct? Or you lived relatively close to Daisy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. At that time period, as far as you know, was Pedro living with Daisy?
From what I know, he was not living with Daisy.
Okay. Now, I want to fast forward to shortly before Pedro lost his life.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to Daisy's house at some point to pick up your mother?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me about that, please?
She had called me, I don't remember exactly the time. I know it was like early morning hours, maybe 12 midnight, maybe 1 in the morning. I don't remember exactly the time, to come and pick her up.
Objection, hearsay. Don't tell us. Well, if you have an answer, remember, you want people to say what other people told you. So with that limitation, you can continue.
Okay, so we went to pick her up, me, my ex-husband, and Laylene.
Laylene was with you also?
Yes, from the home. I stayed in the back. I didn't get out the car because, you know, I was with injury. And I don't remember exactly what happened when I got there. I just remember going to pick her up and leaving, you know.
So you went, and it was around what time?
It was late. It was maybe early morning. It had been maybe 12 p.m., 1 in the morning, but I know it was like early morning hours. Okay. I'm sorry, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., around there.
All right, around 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
Okay. So you went, you stayed in the car, right?
Yes.
Did your cousin Laylene, is Laylene your cousin?
She's my niece.
Your niece, I'm sorry. Laylene, she got off the car?
Yeah, she got off the car to maybe help my mom with whatever she had, her bag or something. She got in the car, my husband was there.
And you guys left?
Then we left, yes.
Okay. Now, at some point later, do you end up coming back?
Yes, we ended up coming back.
Okay. All right, so without telling me what anybody told you, how is it that what happened that caused you to come back?
There was a phone call to come and pick up Daisy's children from her home because an accident happened.
Okay. So when you arrive, do you recall having any interactions with any members of law enforcement?
When we arrived, when we first got there, there was a detective. I don't remember exactly his name. He introduced himself from the homicide. He was, I don't remember his name. I just remember what he looked like.
What did he look like?
He was kind of tall, slim built, young looking guy. He had asked us for our identification when we got there, and he introduced himself from the homicide.
When you say he asked us, who are you referring to?
Me and my mother.
You and your mother. Okay. He asked you for ID.
Right. He asked us for our ID. He said he was from the homicide. And he said that my sister was in the police car.
Okay. Was that the extent of your exchange with that particular detective?
No. After he took my ID, he then called me to the back of a car. And then he proceeded to tell me that he had far worse news for me than what was going on there. And I was confused. I didn't understand, what exactly news he had for me. And he told me that my driver license was suspended for over a year, and that he could take me to jail if I was driving. And
Objection, hearsay, relevance, overruled.
I asked him if he was trying to intimidate me, and he was like, well, your driver's license is suspended for over a year and I could take you to jail.
Hearsay, relevance, overruled.
So I told him, isn't there something more important going on here than a suspended driver's license? Because you told me you were from the homicide bureau, so I'm guessing somebody's passed away here, and you're worried about my driver's license being suspended.
And then what happened?
And then he proceeded to try to ask me some questions, and I told him that I did not want to talk to him anymore after that. So he then had a woman detective come question me.
Before we get to the woman detective, what you just described, was that the entire extent of your exchange with that male detective, or was there anything else?
Just about my driver's license being suspended and him wanting to detain me.
At any point, did you tell that male detective, Daisy must have killed Pedro?
At that point, we really didn't know what had happened because we had just gotten there.
Did you at any point to any detective or any member of law enforcement ever say, Daisy must have killed Pedro, or anything like that to anyone?
No. Only whatever I wrote on my statement, that was the only time I talked about any issues that were going on.
Okay, so you said you spoke to a female detective after that.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that exchange or that interaction?
When I spoke,
Hearsay. I'm sorry, what was the question? Go to a female detective and...
I'm asking you what occurred when she had this exchange with this female detective that she spoke to after the male detective.
So remember, you're not going to say what anyone told you, right?
right, just what I
Just asking
said.
about the exchange.
Right. We just exchanged what happened a couple days before the incident.
Objection, hearsay, overruled. Okay.
So we.
Did you show anything to the detective?
Correct. I showed her the pictures of her injuries.
The same pictures I just
same
showed
pictures.
you. Okay, you showed it to the female detective.
Correct.
And
And I also showed her the messages that we had exchanged during that period of the exchanging of the photos.
okay,
And she then proceeded to tell me that she wasn't interested in that part of the situation, that she was only interested about what happened the night of leading up until the events of when Pedro passed away.
okay. Was there any more to the exchange? Did it end there, or was there more to it?
I just basically told her what I knew from that point on. That I dropped my mom off, that she was going to leave with my mother after the incident had happened, and that was basically what happened up until the point where he had passed away.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That's all the questions I have at this time.
So the state has any questions for you?
afternoon, Ms. Barreto.
Good afternoon.
So you were asked on direct examination about the statement you made to police, and I don't want to misquote you. So you mentioned that you never told police anything about if Pedro is dead, Daisy must have shot him.
Correct.
You said you never told police that.
No, they asked me if I recall telling them that, and I told them, no, I did not recall saying that.
I'm sorry, Ms. Barreto, so I want to get this clear. On direct examination, when the defense attorney asked you, do you remember telling the police if Pedro was dead, Daisy must have shot him? You said, I never told police that. Did I misquote you?
Are you talking about when he did my deposition?
No, I'm talking about right now when he was asking you the question.
Correct.
That's what you said?
Right.
You remember giving a deposition.
I do.
The state was there.
Yes.
The defense attorney was there. A court reporter was there.
Yep.
And they were typing everything you said.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And you swore to tell the truth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The whole truth.
Yes.
And nothing but the truth. Just like you're doing here today.
Just like I'm doing here right now.
Now directing court, counsel, and witness to Ms. Barreto's deposition, page 28, starting at lines 22. Question.
Hold on. She needs to talk to her.
Permission to approach the witness, Judge? I'm going to start here.
Michael, it's understandable why she was upset when the police said, this is far worse. Your license has been suspended versus a homicide that's occurred of her brother-in-law.
Yeah, and again, she doesn't know that yet.
Yes.
They know it.
Yes,
So
good
it seems a
point.
bit disingenuous on behalf of the detective to take that route under these circumstances.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. All right, we're going to pause it right there to squeeze in a quick break. When we come back, the defendant's sister continues to get grilled on cross-examination about conflicting statements that she gave in her deposition. Testimony in the toxic relationship murder trial of Daisy Link continues up next. Stay here with us on your front row seat to justice.
I'm going to ask you a lot of intensely personal questions. How do you explain it? The worst crime anyone can imagine. Do you feel like you took the fall for this murder? Tell me in your own words, what happened? Let's get started.
Interview with a Killer. New season premieres Saturday, October 25th. Only on Court TV.
All right, folks, before we get you back to court, here are some other cases that we're tracking here at Court TV. In Georgia, a coroner ruled the death of a toddler as accidental after being mauled by a daycare owner's dogs. Investigators say that Stacy Wheeler-Cobb was caring for 2-year-old Kamir Jones at her home when the child got outside, opened a kennel, and was attacked by 2 Rottweilers. Cobb is now charged with second-degree murder.
In Ohio, a jury goes home for the day after deliberating just over 1 hour on the fate of Bianca Ellis. She is accused of murdering a 3-year-old boy outside of a grocery store by stabbing him. Closing arguments got underway after the state's final rebuttal witness took the stand. This was a forensic psychiatrist. Ellis pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. If she's convicted, she faces life in prison.
And in Florida, a man convicted in the murder of his wife is back in court for a second day in his fight to have his conviction and death sentence overturned. Mark Severs has maintained his innocence since being convicted in June of 2019 of hiring a hitman to brutally kill his wife while he was out of town. During day 2 of his post-conviction relief hearing, the hitman convicted of killing Teresa Severs testified Mark's friend Curtis Wayne Wright was actually the one who killed Teresa.
As I walk into the home, I observed Curtis Wainwright leaned over Teresa Severs' dead body, calling her names, calling her a and continuing to hit her in the head with a hammer. At which point in time, as soon as I walked in and seen this, I told Wayne my exact words, this, I'm out of here.
All right, I want to get you back inside the courtroom now for more testimony in the toxic relationship murder trial. The defendant's sister is still testifying here on cross-examination by the state.
Question. Do you remember saying that if he, meaning Pedro, is dead, that Daisy must have shot him? Answer, no,
No,
I don't remember saying that. Is that right?
Yes.
But today, you remember 110% you didn't say it.
Right.
So is it that you don't remember or you didn't say it, Ms. Barreto?
Well, the question was, did I remember when he asked me? And I said, no, I don't remember.
No, the question was, did you make the statement? And you said you didn't. So my question is, did you not make the statement or is that you don't remember?
But I think you just read me the question and it said, do you remember saying that? And I said, I do not remember saying that.
Absolutely. So Ms. Barreto, I'm going to ask you again. Is it that you did not make the statement for sure? Or is it that you don't remember making that statement?
I did not make the statement 100% for sure. Unless I was a psychic, then I would have made the statement. But I'm not a psychic.
Okay, so now I want to talk about other questions you were asked on direct examination.
Okay.
You were also asked about the pistol whipping situation.
Okay.
You weren't there when that happened though, right?
I was not there when it happened.
So you don't know how it happened?
I don't know how it happened.
You don't know why it happened?
No.
Where it happened?
No, I wasn't there.
Right. So the only thing you know is what Daisy herself told you happened?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you are Daisy's sister.
I am.
But
Daisy's sister.
But you didn't live with Daisy in 2022.
No, I didn't.
And therefore, you didn't know if Daisy and Pedro were living together in 2022.
I didn't live with her.
So that's a no,
I wouldn't know who's living in her home, only what she tells me.
Right, so that's a no. You wouldn't know if Pedro was living in the home.
I didn't live with her, so I wouldn't know unless she told me something.
Okay, and you never, and Pedro was a trucker, right?
From what I know, yes, he was a trucker.
And Pedro would support Daisy and the kids.
I don't know that.
Overruled.
Do you don't know that?
No.
Did your sister work?
She was working.
Overruled.
Sorry, you can answer. Did she work?
From what I know, she was working.
Where?
At a towing place.
That was in 2022?
I don't remember what year it was. I just remember her working there.
But, so my question is specific. In 2022, do you know if she was working?
I don't remember if it was 2022, what year. I just remember her working at a tow place.
So you're not sure, sorry.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Now, you were also asked about the pistol whipping, the injuries. You mentioned that you called your mom and you told your mom to come get her.
Yes.
But when your mom came down, she didn't go directly to Daisy's house right away, right?
No, she came to my house.
So that's a yes, she didn't go directly to Daisy's house. She went to your house.
Correct.
So your mom was concerned, but she didn't go see Daisy right away.
No, she went to my home where the kids were at.
Okay. And you also mentioned going to the hospital, and I believe you said with those kind of injuries, you would want to go to the hospital right away. Did I quote you right?
Yes, I would.
Do you know if Daisy went to the hospital right away?
No, I believe it was the next day.
So do you know if she called police that day either?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about the night of the shooting. You mentioned that you went to pick up your mom from the house that day.
Right.
But you didn't get out of the car.
No.
So you didn't see Pedro.
No.
You didn't see Daisy.
No.
And you didn't see any of the kids either.
Nope, I didn't.
Now, you also mentioned that your mom came down to get Daisy because she was scared for her.
I asked my mom to come down and get Daisy because I was scared of what I saw in those pictures.
Okay. But you don't know if Daisy and Pedro were communicating from the day of the pistol whipping. You don't know if they kept communicating up until the night he was shot.
I don't know that information.
Would it surprise you to learn that they were still communicating?
It would surprise me.
Would it surprise you to learn that she went to go pick him up the night he was shot from his friend's house?
It would surprise me, yes.
All right, let's take a moment to bring in our guest, former head prosecutor, defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Thank you, Bob, for being on with both of us. Let me ask you, on this cross-examination, she is bringing out that this is the sister of the defendant, that she didn't live with her at the time, that she only knows what the sister told her. Is it so far attacking her credibility?
Yeah, it's one of these things. I mean, this is the relationship. It's a sister, and she doesn't live with the sister. The fact is what the fact is. But the prosecutor is doing what a prosecutor should be under these circumstances, which is trying to undermine her credibility, bringing out motive and bias, and the fact that she wasn't there and didn't see all the facts and circumstances. And, the fact is, it is what it is. And the issue is the prosecutors bringing out, the defense did what they need to do in direct, prosecutors doing what they need to in cross-examination. And this case is really tricky to me because it really comes down to the nuances that the jury that has the ability to be able to see much more than we do, not just the words and the actions, but the credibility of the witnesses, to what extent, if any, a witness like this is going to make. First question the jury will have to answer is, do they believe her? And if they do, what is its relevance to reasonableness of the use of force?
Yeah, I would agree 100% because I agree with you 100%. This case is really going to come down to Daisy's testimony, right? Because at the end of the day, is she believable in claiming that she feared for her life and this guy was acting uncontrollable that particular night? But what this does in dealing with this particular witness is trying to raise some questions. One of the things she talked about was this pistol whipping, and it sounds crazy to even talk about that. This couple, they're pistol whipping each other. There's a question as to what order. Like, she pistol whipped him first, according to some text messages, then he pistol whipped her. It's crazy, Bob. It's absolutely crazy. But let me ask you this. With that type of testimony, I think in the end, no matter who pistol whipped who when, I think it helps the credibility of Daisy when she ultimately takes the stand.
Yeah, it may, Michael. This may be far-fetched to say here, again, not seeing all the evidence of the case. Something that, if I were to add what you just said to the fact that the death shot is a femoral artery bullet. It's not in the, now I'm not saying you have to be a great shot or whatever. It's not a 15 rounds. It's not center mass. It's not in the head. To me, it's a chaotic shot, if that makes any kind of sense. So maybe when you're combining these things, like I pistol whip you pistol whip me, it gets to a point at that point in time when I'm in fear of death or serious bodily injury and I chaotically take a shot and kill a person. That's how I'd be arguing this as a defense lawyer.
Yeah, and the medical examiner said that he thinks it happened while he was running away.
That's what's going to hurt.
Which honestly didn't make quite much sense to me, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Stand by, Bob. I do have to take a break. More testimony coming up, folks, in the toxic relationship murder trial of Daisy Link. That's coming up on Court TV Live. Plus, killer Adam Montgomery wants a new trial after being convicted in the horrific murder of his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony Montgomery. Up next, we'll have a live report ahead of his state Supreme Court hearing. Keep it here on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott.
And I'm Michael Ayala. Before we head back to court, let's turn to New Hampshire now, where Adam Montgomery's attorneys are expected back in the New Hampshire State Supreme Court tomorrow. The state's highest court will hear arguments on his request for a new trial.
Montgomery was convicted just last year of beating his 5-year-old daughter Harmony to death. And yesterday, a judge dismissed Harmony's mother's wrongful death lawsuit against him because authorities could not find him to serve him. Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson joins us in studio. Always great to have you, Matt. Tell us, what can we expect in the hearing tomorrow?
Yeah, Judge Ashley, Michael, tomorrow is going to be another big day. But as for Adam Montgomery, still not talking or telling anyone where he hid his daughter's body. But he is asking for a new trial. Last year, Montgomery was found guilty of beating and killing his 5-year-old little daughter, Harmony Montgomery. On the eve of that trial, he pleaded guilty to abuse of a corpse and falsifying evidence. But now he's challenging his murder conviction, saying he didn't get a fair trial because the court failed to separate the assault and murder charges. Body camera video of Montgomery interacting with police was shown to the jury, and his estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, testified about prior bad acts, prior abuse. Here's part of her testimony.
The more accidents she had, the more he would get angry, and he would hit her repetitively. When he would hit her, she started getting black eyes and bruises on her face, on her legs.
Now, the state is expected to argue that they were limited in the scope of the prior bad acts of abuse and that the police video included no audio when it was presented to the jury. Now, the big question for tomorrow is, will Adam Montgomery be in court? Because you recall, trial number one, the weapons trial, he was in court, but this trial, the murder trial, he was not in court each and every day, the 11 days of the trial that I was there. He was also not there for the reading of the verdict. And we'll find out tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. when this hearing gets underway.
Now, Matt, you talked a little bit about that wrongful death lawsuit that had been dropped. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, new developments in this. It's being reported that the judge recently dismissed a wrongful death lawsuit against Montgomery because authorities couldn't find him to serve him properly. Well, that's in question now. Montgomery was moved out of state to serve 56 years to life behind bars in Virginia after being sentenced for murder in the murder case. But there may have been an issue locating him for this lawsuit. However, I just got off the phone, contacted Crystal Sori, the mother of Harmony Montgomery, and she tells me this quote. Let's put it on your screen. She says, quote, "Nothing was dismissed that was an error with the court." She was at the courthouse now during the entire trial, and I spoke with her after the verdict. Here's what she told me.
He's a coward. He's a coward. He's always been a coward. Hence why he did what he did. He took away from the people that loved her because he couldn't hack that he didn't have control. That's all he cared about, was control of everything in his life. She wasn't anything to him.
What are your thoughts of Harmony right now as this verdict comes down?
She's here with me. And she is the one that keeps me strong every day.
Recently, Sori won a $2.5 million settlement against the state of New Hampshire for negligence in the case involving her daughter. Again, daughter's remains have never been found. Anyone with information, please call authorities with that. But as for this new development, as to whether or not the lawsuit is dropped, we're still looking into the matter, and we'll keep you posted.
Excellent. Matt Johnson, thank you for bringing us all the latest as we wait for that hearing in the Supreme Court tomorrow, the state Supreme Court. Right now, let's go back to Florida, where we are watching the defense present its case in day 4 of the toxic relationship trial. Daisy Link, the defendant, is charged with the second-degree murder of Pedro Jimenez, who was shot to death on June 25th of 2022. In court documents, officers described the relationship between Link and Jimenez as one marred by long-term physical abuse and domestic violence.
Investigators point to a pattern of violence in that relationship, citing a 911 call just 5 days before the deadly shooting. Link was accused of attacking Jimenez with a skateboard while he was inside his car trying to escape. Well, now the jury is hearing the defendant's side of the story as the defense presents its case. On the stand now is still the defendant's sister, facing cross by the state.
Moment to confer, Judge. No further questions.
You were asked a question a few moments ago about you only knowing what Daisy told you, right?
Correct.
Well, you saw pictures for yourself, right?
Yes, I did.
And you saw those injuries for yourself, right?
I did see them.
And those injuries were fresh, right?
They were pretty fresh.
And there was open wounds on her head, right?
Open wounds, blood, and you can see her skull bone.
So that's not just what she told you, right?
No, it's what I saw in person.
You saw it with your own eyes, right?
Yes, with my own eyes.
And what effect did seeing that have on you?
Objection, relevance.
You can answer.
I felt like it was life-threatening. I felt like...
I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Crystal.
Sorry.
You're going to pause that answer.
Do I go this way or I stay? Okay.
All right, Michael, they have a little sidebar there. Listen, the open wounds, the blood, the skull wounds, you know, I would argue that of anyone who's going to know if a person's going through domestic violence, it could be a sister who's close to that person.
Yeah, again, you can use the fact that there is a relationship there to hurt her credibility. But again, as Bob said earlier, that's the relationship. She's the sister. She can't change that. And you're right, sisters tend to share things with each other. I think it's a bolster to her credibility. The idea that her sister may say things to her she may not have said to others.
And I think it's good that on the coming back up on the redirect to say, did you see these pictures? Did you see these open wounds, the blood, the skull wounds? Because it just reiterates, this is not just what she was told. She saw this.
Yeah, and the jury saw those pictures.
Yeah.
So something's happening, right? Now the question is, at least the way the narrative by the state goes, is that she gave as good as she got.
Right.
So the question is, how is the jury going to sort of deal with that aspect of the case if in fact there is evidence to that effect?
And if there's a medical examiner that says he was shot in his back as he was running away, I think that is not a good fact for the defense, Michael.
Yeah, the defense paints it in an interesting way, saying that he was at the house trying to stalk her, and she came out with the gun, and that's what made him scared, and then she goes after him and ultimately shoots him, and she claims that she was just trying to scare him.
Yeah.
We've heard that before.
Yes.
Again, it's all about interpretation.
Right, and what is this jury going to do?